It was 40 years ago that it all began, and it began in a rather simple way because the Manitoba Theatre Centre, and I'm not suggesting anything critical of it, but they decided that they were going to give up their theatre school, and a group of parents got together, and I was one of them, and said, we better do something about this, we better start our own school. And so we got together and we created a corporation, and we found space in a deserted building on Princess Street. It was owned by the city, but not in use. It started out as simply a theater school, but knowing Colin Jackson, as many of you do, it wouldn't take very long before we were into a dozen other things. We were into puppetry at the beginning, and then we were into children's theater, and into children's theater as a subscription kind of thing, and then into an adult play. In the whole year, we'd had one production that was for adult audiences, and then 2 or 3 in a subscription series for adults. And by that time, we'd outgrown Princess Street, and we decided that this is the place where we would be, and we raised a fair chunk of money from various sources, and here we are today.
Happy birthday, Robert Metcalfe.
Well, thank you. I think it's more of an anniversary, because in a birthday that implies that one person is celebrating, but in an anniversary it's about the relationship, and really this is about the relationship that PTE has had with this community for the last 40 years.
Yes, I
so
know.
Happy anniversary to you too.
Okay, all right, happy anniversary. We just had few words from Charles Huban. He was an original, one of the founders of PTE.
He was. In fact, PTE wouldn't really exist if Charles Huban didn't want a place for his son David to take classes. And I mean, really, it was about the parents getting together and wanting to create this theater school when the school shut down over at MTC that led to this entire company.
And a footnote, it is very interesting to see that people from all walks of life, from all social demographics, can love the arts and have an appreciation for it. Charles himself was a Chief Justice.
He was Chief Justice of Manitoba, absolutely, and he's a great supporter of this company. His wife was on the board at the MCO for quite a while, but don't forget, if he's a justice, that means he's a lawyer, which means he's got a bit of ham in him.
Oh, okay. All right. So there's so much noise here.
Yeah.
We're in your brand new digs.
Yeah.
Spectacular season this season.
Well, thank you.
Now we're going into the 40th. So what do you have up your sleeve, Robert?
Well, we're going to start with a premiere of a local playwright, Ellen Peterson's play The Brink, and it'll be the 140th premiere that we've done in Prairie Theatre Exchange over the last 40 years, which is extraordinary for any company. And then we're going to do a little short musical called Gunmetal Blues, kind of a film noir musical, not short musical, a little compact musical. Takes place in a sleazy bar.
Love that.
I do. I love noir, right? So a noir musical is just, yeah. And for
the sleaze, yeah.
Yeah, and the sleazy, yeah. And then we're, and I have to see, now you're going to make me check my notes. What are we doing after that? Oh, yes. We're doing The Dishwashers by Morris Panitch. Now, Morris Panitch, he wrote Lawrence and Holloman. Some people might remember that from a few years back. He's actually one of Canada's best playwrights, and he's been produced on Broadway and in London, but we're doing a show called The Dishwashers, which is about a guy that used to eat in this really beautiful, fancy restaurant, and because of financial reasons, he loses his job. He ends up having to work in the dish pit of the same restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah. So he has to learn who he is now that he's not the guy that eats in the restaurant. He's the guy that works in the dish pit.
And I love it because all of these plays are always a little edgy. They're a little outside the box, not mainstream.
Well, yeah, the show that follows, we do try to, you know what, I assume my audience is intelligent and open to things, right? And so I'm not saying that other people don't assume their audience is intelligent, but that's just where I start. And I'm trying to do intelligent plays for intelligent audience members. We're doing a new Hannah Moscovich play, another brand new play. Hannah is one of the most exciting new writers in the country. She's just young. She's about 31 years old now, and she's burst onto the scene with a couple of fabulous plays. And she's writing a play about the war in Afghanistan, a play called This Is War, and it's it's I describe it as brutal, but it's not brutal in a kind of war kind of way. It's brutal in the truth of it, in the emotional truth of it. And she's looking at war not as it's reported, which is either heroic or tragic, or appalling. She actually looks at it from the point of view of that split second where instinct or training or something sparks something to happen, and everything loses control, and then there's fallout from that.
Well, how timely.
Absolutely.
Which is what is happening right now. When you said that, it was like, wow.
Well, absolutely, and I've tried to put the season together, like doing the dishwashers and doing these things, I'm trying to do plays that really suit our times. And then the last one, the swearing jar. This is about a young couple who are expecting a baby, and they decide to try and quit swearing by putting $5 in the jar every time they swear. They have a wonderful relationship. They're really well suited. It's wonderfully honest. It's quirky and fun and about love and truth, and it's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful plays that I've read for a long, long time. There's a bit of music in it. There's a lot of laughs, but there's such a huge open heart that it's going to be a great way to close that season. And then at Christmas we do Munch, and this year, of course, we're doing the Magical Mystery Munch.
Oh wow! We can hardly wait for that one.
Yeah, that'll be great. For if you've got little ones, Munch is the place to be.
Well, you know what? You had mentioned you've only been here for 9 years, so you're still kind of like...
I'm the new guy. 9 years.
9 years. 9 years young. But for you, Robert, why have you remained true to PTE, to Prairie Theatre Exchange here in Winnipeg?
Well, it's kind of a hard question and an easy question. The easy answer is because the values of the company and the connection and the kind of, I don't want to sound dry, but the social contract and the relationship that the company has with the audience and with the community is exactly what I think a theater company should be. I think it fits into the community in exactly the right way. And I've made changes since I came here, but only in ways that I hope are augmenting and adding value to that relationship. Things like the Playwrights Unit and the new Play Festival and some of the initiatives we have that allow our audience to come into the space and interact with our artists or with us or with the staff. I mean, we have 5,000 people come to a play and they all call me Bob, and not because they feel so at home here. Theater companies, all arts organizations belong to the community they're in. So I think probably Prairie Theatre Exchange changed me more than I changed Prairie Theatre Exchange.
Well, thank you, Uncle Bob. It's so nice to be home.
Was I that saccharine?
Yeah.
I'm known for being quite caustic, by the way.
Yeah, he usually is. He usually is like a Simon Cowell judge. But no, I just want to say that you speak with such passion about each and every play that it's like your own child. And that even without being able to show you clips from these wonderful plays, we all want to come and see them.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well, it'll be a great year for people to come to the theater.
Oh, and before you go, here's your one plug.
Yes.
Sorry, you can plug the last play on this season.
Sure, yeah. Well, I'm in rehearsal right now for a very, very funny play called Till It Hurts. And it's about a professor who's retiring, and he's going to give one of those name speeches, like the Massey lectures, that kind of thing. And it's a big, big deal. And it's supposed to sum up everything he knows or everything he's learned in his life, both academically and just from his heart. And he has nothing. And he keeps getting a call from a telemarketer from the Stephen Lewis Foundation, who he manipulates, and she swears at him, and Stephen Lewis is behind her. She gets fired, so she goes to his house.
Oh, and that's all we're going to tell you,
That's all
folks.
we're going to tell you.
Yes, so that closes off this season. For all the information, though, go to the website, and that's pte.mb.ca.
Right.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Prairie Theatre Exchange, 40 years strong next year.
Thank you, Winnipeg.
For Backstage, I'm Tracy Koga.